What's up, everyone? Matt back for another real review. And today it's something a little bit different because this is something that I haven't had to do in all my time of reviewing because Disney's normally a little bit stingy. No offense, Disney, it's totally understandable. But today, for the first time in all my times of reviewing, I'm lucky enough to be reviewing the first 4 episodes of Andor. Now, the reason I say Disney's normally stingy is because when it comes to Star Wars live action shows, the last time they've really sent out review copies for anything was Mandalorian, season 2. So we got nothing for Obi-Wan, nothing for Book of Boba Fett. So here we are. And honestly, I was really excited. And I'm not going to lie, Rogue One is probably one of my least favorite Star Wars films. It's got a beautiful last half hour, just like Attack of the Clones. But overall, I don't vibe with a lot of what Rogue One is and what it does. However, when they announced the show Andor, it had my curiosity. Because outside of K2SO, Cassian was one of the other 2 characters I found myself really gravitating towards. So I was very curious into some of the comic books. So I was curious how the Cassian and K2SO comic was going to be, if it was just going to be adapted or so. Andor really had my attention, but I was still a little bit skeptical. Granted, Diego Luna is a fantastic talent. So now here we are, and 1 week ago, and I get an email, Andor, first 4 episodes are for review, and I'm like, wow, okay. If they're sending us the first 4 episodes of Andor, something's up. And I was right, because this show is absolutely amazing. Whether it be the score from composer Nicholas Patel, or Diego Luna's acting, or just figuring out what's driving Cassian forward, it's a really cool show. And it's not like any of the other Star Wars Disney Plus shows. There's not a lot of joking and silliness in it. But granted, those shows we love. This is a dark, gritty show in the tone of Rogue One. And while I might not love Rogue One, I did really love the first 4 episodes of this show. Diego Luna is just he's everything you'd want him to be. And it's not like they went in and neutered Cassian. If anything, he's darker. That guy we saw just shoot someone in the beginning of Rogue One, he's still very present, and they make that known within the first minutes of the show. The cinematography is by far some of the most beautiful film I've ever seen in regards to a Star Wars project ever since Disney took over. And I mean that. Granted, we've gotten so used to the volume, it was almost like a culture shock seeing these real sets, because it's been well documented that out of all the Star Wars Disney shows, Andor did not use the volume for the majority of filming like the rest of them. And overall, I really, really was vibing with everything that they were putting out. Whether it was Diego Luna or Adria Arjona, who was most recently in Morbius, sadly, or Genevieve O'Reilly, who comes back from Mom Mothma. I won't tell you in which episode, but she's there. And getting to see a little bit of her life and her home life before we meet her later on in the series was pretty cool. But just this overall cast that we have, this cast of characters, and the inciting incident as to why Andor is this man being hunted is really interesting. Arguably, there's some commentary in there, and it's just such a breath of fresh air. Granted, I love Kenobi, and that's because Obi-Wan's always been one of my favorite characters, and I just loved the story that told. But this Tony Gilroy has produced a show that is on another level when it comes to Star Wars. This show is what I wish Rogue One could have been. And I like the last half hour, but I think like Top Gun Maverick did for Top Gun, which is it was a sequel that made the first film better. This is a prequel that's going to make Rogue One better because now you actually will give a damn about Cassian, and they've made that incredibly clear in this show. There are the utilization of flashbacks, seeing the relationships and connections that he has. All of this goes to make just such a slow burn but incredibly enthralling show. Now, granted, there are going to be some parts where Star Wars fans complain because it's not their Star Wars. I don't give a damn, because if this is where Star Wars is going, count me in, because I would not have expected this franchise to go here, and it's just great. It really is. There's no kitty gloves here. This is without a doubt an adult Star Wars show. There's a Star Wars brothel. There is a Star Wars booty call. First time we've ever seen any of that in Star Wars. But here we are. So parents, if you're watching this, maybe not necessarily show your kids right away, because you might have some questions being asked. But it feels like an adult show. It feels like an HBO type Star Wars show, which is what the fandom has really been waiting for all this time. And I know a lot of us, myself included, said, okay, cool, we get a Cassian show, but who cares about a Cassian show? I do now. I really do. And this is a 2-season show, 12 episodes in each season. We get the first 12 this year, then the next 12 late next year, I think they're saying. So I am really excited, especially to see where these next 8 episodes go and see Cassian's journey to where we get him in Rogue One. So if I'm going to rate this, it's a strong 4.5 out of 5. There's a couple things just that I would want to say real quick to bring it down. And this isn't a slight towards the actors whatsoever. There's a lot of thick accents in this show. So if I can give you one recommendation, put on subtitles. It'll help you a lot. The other thing is, in the flashbacks, when you have Cassian speaking his native tongue, there should have been dialogue subtitles there, because it's not English, and you kind of you get a slight gist of what's going on and what's being said, but not really. So those are really my only 2 knocks against this. So Cassian Andor, first 3 episodes drop tomorrow. The next episode drops next Wednesday. I almost said Thursday because of She-Hulk. But what do you guys think? What are you excited for Cassian? Once you watch the first 3 episodes, why don't you come back here and give this little video a comment or a like or something like that, because I want to know what you think. So with that, once again, this is Matt, and this has been another Real Review. We'll see you next time.